The year is 2045 and the Earth has fallen into post-apocalyptic disarray. China was the first to dissolve. Acid rain, overpopulation, crumbling infrastructure, and a flu-like pandemic effectively decimated the population. Disease now rules over Asia, with pockets of bear survivalists living out of fear and anarchy. Europe was soon to follow, as their economy collapsed and they fell prey to splinter cells conducting cyber warfare being waged by North Koreans and Chinese terrorists. Using drones and quantum computing, they effectively crippled Europe and Russia through propaganda-driven insurrection, bombings, and biological warfare. There are now rumors of zombie bears running rampant in the abandoned rural areas of the Eastern Hemisphere, cannibalizing any bear in their path and devouring dwindling honey supplies. The bears are starving. With blatant disregard for world politics, the current head of state of our beloved Kingdom of Caring, Tenderheart Bear, just prior to the fall of the Eastern Hemisphere, dissolved all borders in an effort to honor the people's misguided wish to accept any and all bears and other races into the kingdom. Political parties, beholden to corporate avarice, fought tooth and claw against each other, effectively blinding them to what was happening under their own snouts. The immigrants, deceptively dubbed Care Bear cousins, for they are neither bears nor cousins of bears, began draining the kingdom's economy dry by taking advantage of an already stressed socialized healthcare system called Bear Care and indoctrinating the younger bears in foreign philosophies and values. The demise of traditional morals and cultural solidarity led to rampant individualism, wanton drug use, and crime sprees due to obvious moral dilapidation. Due to the liberal freedoms granted by Tenderheart Bear, such as a woman bear's right to choose and true freedom of religion, the accepted religion of Bearianity fell out of favor with the residents of the kingdom. Clearly a result of being in a state of disfavor with her omnipotent and omniscient patron, Jeebus, and not a result of environmental decay and climate instability due to wanton resource consumption and empirically evidenced pollution. The kingdom was mercilessly pelted with wrathful and catastrophic acts of Jeebus. With the economy weakened, the borders dissolved, and a now morally bankrupt core, foreign and domestic terrorists turned their attention to the kingdom's resources. So-called refugees flooded already overpopulated cities, and what was left of the economy was drained through cyber warfare and paramilitary assaults. Because of funding cuts to what was once the most powerful military in the world, they were unable to effectively repel the guerrilla invaders, and the kingdom survivals fell back collectively towards the central, defendable lands of the Inner Kingdom. Their honey supplies are dwindling quickly. Now, Tenderheart Bear rules the remnants of the Kingdom of Caring, and elections are about to begin.
The following public service announcement is brought to you by the New Friendship Conglomerate. Tenderheart Bear wants to blame zombies for the mass destruction and disintegration of our beautiful world. But I ask you, who was in charge when that happened? Under whose watch did violence run rampant, raping the remaining resources our planet has left? Who was it that allowed huge government bailouts and subsidies to go to his cronies, while forcing the everyday salt-of-the-earth bears to foot the bill through deficits and debt? Who is Tenderheart Bear, deep down under that bleeding heart on his chest? What do we really know about him? Well, we know he fraternized with the other species with no cute pictographics on their chests, like dogs, cats, horses, even potentially dangerous creatures like lions. Disgusting creatures we'd rather not have in our backyards, drinking out of the toilet and licking themselves. He believes these lesser creatures should have equal rights in the forest, should have the same access to our schools, parks, and even our honey hives. He pushed legislation giving them equal rights, And what happened under these policies? Now there isn't enough to go around. We are living in turmoil and scarcity. Tenderheart Bear took your weapons away, and look what's come of that. A huge black market for guns and more violence. Tenderheart, or should we call him Terrorheart, was seen taking part in the private meetings of a secret cadre of men with plans to enslave the planet under an all-powerful one-world government. Remember when gas only cost $1 a gallon? Tenderheart wishes everyone would forget, since one of his companies has been siphoning billions from exorbitant gasoline profits. Just why do you think he invaded Barakistan? Tenderheart himself sits on the boards of several multinational corporations, and he has enormous private wealth, mostly untraceable in offshore accounts. Conflict of interest, you might say? Tenderheart doesn't think so. As long as nobody asks the right questions, it doesn't matter what the answers are. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. Just how did he intend for us to pay back these debts? He didn't. He wants the impoverished bears of the world to be reduced to the equivalent of a slave underclass, whose only job is to keep his standards of living higher and the slaves lower. Even after all this, debt remains and we're stuck holding the bill. We, the bears. And what are we fighting over anyway? The environment is overrun with pollution. Pollution he told us all he was dedicated to stopping. The forest of feeling is dying. The species are one by one becoming extinct. Who is Tenderheart Bear behind closed doors? He wants us to believe he has a happy marriage and the adoration of his children. Our investigators discovered that on 3 occasions he snuck out of Carolot disguised as Lovelot Bear to see prostitutes in the downtown forest. We all know Lovelot has an addiction and can't help himself. He has also been seen in the Forest of Feeling rehab facility for narcotics addiction. Someone close to him tells us he was snorting bee pollen, which he often paid for through misappropriation of funds. He was getting high on your tax money. He was also rumored to have a penchant for very young bears, just cubs really. You might say that, well, this is the best that democracy was able to produce, so we should just live with it. You might say that we voted him in, so I suppose we've made the bed we're lying in. But I argue that's not true. You've been bamboozled and hoodwinked. Did you know that innocent bears died because of our leadership's incompetence in Bear Ghazi, and that Tenderheart's administration lied about it prior to the last election? Would you have still voted for him if you'd known this? I didn't think so. The last election was stolen, my friends, and you were merely innocent victims. His leadership is null and void. The Care Bears need a new kind of leadership to shepherd them into a new age of peace, prosperity, and love. The old tired ideas of the Tenderheart administration have done enough damage. War, genocide, ecocide. Haven't we had enough? Don't we want a leader who actually cares about us and wants to be our friend, instead of just our leader? A leader who's for the bears and not just out for himself and his special interests. A leader who is also our friend.
With my protection, the new friendship conglomerate can promise the bears of Caring Kingdom food and shelter. I don't use liberal lies of dirty air and warm temperatures to further my party's agenda. Aren't you done being told that bearkind is responsible for the decay of bearonity? Aren't you ready for a leader to take back what you deserve? Vote no to tree-hugging, bottle recycling, gas-saving Tenderheart. The new friendship conglomerate needs you. Voting for me is the right thing to do. I can promise you sunny skies, rich honey, warm den, and happiness forever. With your help, the new friendship conglomerate will lead Bearonity into a future of prosperity.
Every day with Friend Bear is sunshine and rainbows. With Friend Bear in charge, all the bears receive the best education rainbows can buy, for free. Everyone loves Friend Bear, and Friend Bear we trust. Spend eternity in the rainbows with Friend Bear. Friend Bear brings everyone together. Friend Bear is in every bear's bear. With Friend Bear, everyone is best friends.